There comes a time when the weather begins to turn, where we begin that transition from summer garden to preparing the winter garden. The nights have become colder, the days are shorter, the sunlight is tilting, and so we must take advantage of the warmer days while we still can and start getting our winter crops in the ground. If you've been lucky enough to raise your own seedlings, some of them may be ready now. Mine are not quite ready, although some have started to just put out their third leaves. I lost a few trays of seedlings to a week in February of unexpected appointments and venturing, so my husband kindly purchased some brassica plants from the nursery for me to get into the ground. Please don't feel rushed by my eagerness to get my brassicas in the ground. I won't be as present in my garden over April and into May, so I am feeling the urgency to get some winter plants in now. But you have time, so take it easy, plant some seeds in trays, and wait for the time that's best for you to plant your winter crop. There's no better time than today to start your garden. If you have a courtyard and a few pots or containers, plant some herbs. If you have a vacant lawn, start some raised beds on top of it. If you have a large paddock, begin a no-dig garden with layers of cardboard, manure and compost like I did for my gardens. We can feel a pressure from what's happening in the world, and when we look at prices of fuel going up and how this is going to change the prices of our food going into the future. But when you move your focus into growing something, when you place your hands in the soil and watch your plants grow, you will find a calmness and a steadiness in yourself. Gardening is healing in so many ways. This is the first year that I have successfully grown beans. And while it's only small handfuls at a time, I'm so very pleased to be growing them finally in this dry summer climate that we have here. These are a yellow bush bean that I've planted. However, some of them are making some very long vines on them, which is quite interesting for a bush bean. Most of these beans have been devoured in the garden, so I haven't been weighing these or taking note at all of how many I have harvested. It's only a small bundle, but it's something, and it's hope that I will be able to grow beans in the future. Well, friends, it has been a very productive day here. I've had my friends back and my mum here to help in my garden. And as you can see, this area has drastically changed. I shall put a photo of what it looked like beforehand. I've got lots of kale coming up that I need to transplant. I'm slowly moving things back to about where I'm sitting actually, because this is where my garden is going to begin from now on. So I'm going to lose about 3 meters of my garden, but I will gain it again eventually. But it's because we're doing some shifting, and I've been able to grow things during the summer in this section, but now it's time to move things back. And in this area, we harvested the most magnificent leeks. I thought these were like going to seed, but they're not. They are just perfect and huge, huge. So there'll probably be some leek and potato soup coming up. I've spent the whole afternoon chopping up Egyptian walking onions because we harvested a massive amount. When I say we, I mean my friends. My mum harvested the onions. I sat down and prepared them all for taking inside to then chop up. So I've been doing that all afternoon, and I have so many Ziploc bags ready to go in the freezer full of chopped up Egyptian walking onions. So basically like spring onions. They're a little bit more potent than spring onions. So they're kind of in between onions and spring onions, I'd say. A little bit closer to spring onions. But yeah, these leeks just blowing me away with their growth. And we also harvested some carrots from this section and some really small beetroots, which I will cook up for dinner tomorrow night. But here, this brick is telling me where my garden's starting now. And we've planted out some brassicas down the end. But here, I'm going to be planting out some of my garlic, which is going to be in another video very soon. So as you can see, I'm wearing a beanie because it's not quite chilly enough to wear a beanie, but we have been a little bit under the weather. So I'm wearing a beanie just to keep myself warm. And I've also got a scarf around my neck just to keep myself well. I've got to go and tuck the chickens in for the night. But firstly, I wanted to give a big thank you and shout out to those who have been supporting me over on Buy Me a Coffee. I haven't really been spruiking it a lot, but it is there. There is a link for it on my channel for you to go over there. And I've got it as Buy Me a Tree because we turn that money back into this land and plant more trees and more plants and more habitat for the wildlife here. And a small amount of it also encourages me to be able to make more videos for you, especially at this time now when I'm not working at the moment. Having your support through all channels, and not just through money, but just through watching and sharing and hyping and commenting on my videos really, really helps me. So I thank you very much, but I wanted to give a big shout out to Wendy and Sue. And there was someone else who sent some money through recently. I don't think they left a name on there either. And of course, all the way back when I first started the Buy Me a Coffee, there were a few as you as well. I know Naomi was one of them. I've forgotten if there are another few of you, but I mainly wanted to just shout out and say thank you so much. I do try to answer all of your comments on my channel, on my videos, when you make a comment, and I eventually get around to them. If I don't get onto them, within a day or two, I eventually get there. Sometimes for some reason, I don't see some of the comments, and when I'm scrolling through the comments of some of my videos, they'll pop up. So if I haven't responded, it's only because I haven't seen it through the channels that I normally see your comments. But I do try to answer every comment. If there is a heart, then I have read your comment and I appreciate it very much. As I always say, I love hearing from you. I love hearing what you're doing in your gardens. It helps all of us, I think, when we're reading the comments to see what people are doing in different areas around Australia and over the other side of the world as well. It's really inspiring, and it connects us all and gives us more garden friends out there when, sometimes it's hard to find those friends really close by. So I just wanted to shout out and say thank you. And of course, a big thank you to my friends and my mum who have helped me in my garden today. And last week we did a working bee as well, and things are looking good, more manageable for me when the area is cleared and I'm able to just put my energy into planting. I definitely wore myself out when I was putting the manure and things out on that garden bed over there. So I'm grateful that this one has got all the manure and top-ups of minerals and stuff popped in this section here. I think the rest of my garden is going to wait until early April, or maybe even towards the end of April, until it sort of gets a real revamp, because everything else is still growing. I've still got zucchinis and tomatoes and eggplants, and I've got some capsicums, albeit very small ones, but they are growing as well. I've got pumpkins and corn. There's lots growing, so we're just going to leave the rest of the garden, and I'm going to plant my brassicas and my garlic out and some of my root vegetables. I've planted some beetroot seeds in the ground, and my husband got me plants. He got me cabbages, cauliflowers and broccolis and one Brussels sprout. So I have planted those out into my garden, and I've got lots of kale coming up from seed that was scattered from one of my kale plants that went to seed. So I need to transplant that from the section that's going to be bulldozed, basically. There's going to be a path here where I'm sort of sitting in front of me here, and that is going to be sort of the border of the garden. And all of this was supposed to have started this summer, but it didn't. And this is okay. Sometimes things get put off, and it's for the best. We got to focus on other areas, and we'll get there eventually. I've got this most fragrant, beautiful lemon balm growing right near me here. This is one plant that I'm going to have to move, and I think I will try and move it out the front. There is a lot of plants out here, mostly medicinal herbs, that I will need to move out to the front of the garden because they are taking up real estate, but also they are taking up space in the areas that are going to be no longer veggie garden or herb garden. I might make myself a nice lemon balm tea tonight, and I will see you again in my next video, friends. Please remember to comment down below and like and subscribe and all of the above. Thank you so much. See you very soon, friends. I just found this wacky cucumber. Just did a little bit of a late evening pick and found all these zucchinis, and it reminds me, I'll let you know, that I'm doing a video soon on all the things that I am making with zucchinis. So what you can do with your zucchini glut. So watch out for that video. And just picked myself a whole bucket full of zucchinis and tomatoes. Loads of cherry tomatoes, but quite a few decent sized tomatoes too. What a good one.